Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 466, recorded on February 22nd, 2024. On tonight's episode, we talk about our likes and dislikes from Nintendo's partner showcase, our favorite online games, and some juicy rumors because Jeff Grubb likes to push my buttons. Jesse, you know what to do.
No, Nintendo Dads fans, you do not need to adjust your TV sets. I am coming to you live from an undisclosed location where I now have acquired what you might call broadband internet. It's actually fiber, and it's amazing. And this is what it feels like to be living in the 2010s. And it's great.
The 2010s.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Got my desk all set up, got my streaming things set up. The next few videos that you guys see from me on the Nintendo Dads channel starting tomorrow are all recorded right here in the house, uploaded in the house. You don't know it. I may be sitting in my underwear right now. But nobody's gonna know. We're not going there.
Nope.
Nope. All right, anyway, this is episode 466. It's the 22nd of February, 2024. Joining me on the show tonight, all the way from north of here, are my two best friends, Tim Off and Jesse Waldack. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Wrong button. I'm doing good. Other than pressing the wrong buttons here. Just getting over a little bit of stomach issues, but doing better. I got to sleep in today. Called off work a little bit. So
as an adult, I don't wish nausea on anybody.
Yeah,
it's
couldn't even tell you what it was. Just glad it's over with.
Notice kids can throw up anywhere at any point, and like 30 seconds they're like, bleh, and they're like, how are you? I'm fine.
Right.
Like they throw up and then they just take off.
They're ready. They're done. They got it out.
At 43 years old, I throw up, and it is a catastrophic event in my life. Like, I'm sore. I have to go to bed.
Right.
I can't do anything else for the rest of the day.
That's because when we do it now, we have to hold on to our souls so they don't leave our bodies while we're doing that.
It's awful. It's awful. And totally not related to vomit or throwing up or awful. Jesse Waldack, how you doing?
Well, actually, I am doing better now than I was earlier this week. This week I had some sinus issue. There was no vomiting involved, but there was a lot of runny noses and headaches and trying to sleep with a CPAP on when your nose is running. That's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all that pollen and congestion stuff has moved here. There's lots of people around here that are feeling that. But you know what I'm feeling? Talking about some Nintendo. Talking about some Nintendo Partner Direct and all kinds of stuff that happened this week. And so we've actually got quite a bit to talk about tonight surrounding that Direct. So why don't we just jump straight into the news? Our news is brought to us each and every week by our sponsors, who you'll hear from later on in the show, but also by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to the best community in the world. I mean, where else could you see pictures of people who are actually using Tim's face as their watch screen? For their Apple Watch. I mean, this is real stuff that's happening.
Who did that?
in real time. Just go hit the Discord, Jesse. You'll see it's in their photo mode.
Bruce.
It's awesome. And we're sharing all kinds of stuff over there all the time. But you also get, most importantly, I think now, the ad-free version of Nintendo Dads, right? Which has become quite popular, I think, among folks. That means no ads whatsoever on your feed. And so you get a special feed for that through Patreon. And so we would love for you to get hooked up with that for as little as $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $30 a month. You can sponsor us. $30 a month, you get to be a Patreon producer of the show. You get to come on the show and hang out. It's a great time. And this week, we want to say a huge thanks to our newest patrons, newest friends of the show, Shy Guy and Matthew B. So thanks, guys, for jumping in over there. And we're going to try to do better about shouting out people's names. But also, thanks to everybody who supports us every month for being great and helping us make more good content for you guys, like this podcast, our YouTube channel, Twitch streams, all kinds of stuff like that. But I also want to mention this too about the Patreon, and that is if you join up, you can pay by the month, which is fine. Or if you pay by the year, we give you a month free. All right. So we just take that off your cost and you can get a whole month for free, whatever tier you join if you pay up front. And so pretty cool. Head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and we will get you hooked up and get you into the Discord. Another way you can do that too is if you're a Twitch Prime or you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you have a Twitch subscription, you can throw that our way. You have to re-up it every month, but that also gets you access to the Discord as well. Hey guys, let's talk about this Nintendo Partner Showcase, which happened yesterday and was 25 minutes of solid, like, rapid fire news, right? Did anybody count how many games Nintendo revealed yesterday?
I didn't.
Or we need to do that right now.
Did not count
You keep talking, I'll count.
Okay, so we got everything yesterday from first party, like kind of first party releases with the NSO stuff, Microsoft jumping in with 2 titles on the Switch, lots of remakes. Let's just be honest, lots of remakes, and some stuff that just looks really cool. And so, did you get a number for us?
Not including NSO stuff, 26 games.
It's like a game a minute.
Yeah.
It's literally like a game a minute, and it's fun when you think about that because they spent way longer on some games than they should have. Anyway, lots of demos available. Like yesterday, it was like literally like the eShop exploded. Nintendo had all of this available. This, by the way, it was not like a live YouTube. It was kind of like it just showed up 8 o'clock. There it was, 8 o'clock Central. And all of this stuff was available directly after that, including pre-orders. Let's talk about it. Jesse, I'm going to throw you first. What did you like about this presentation? What jumped out at you?
Very little. I think there's really only 2 games I'm kind of interested in, and one of which is a game we already knew about, and it's been delayed at least twice. So that one is, where did it go? Is the Fantasy Life V, The Girl Who Steals Time, that it now has a release date of October 10th. I played the DS or the 3DS version of that, and it was okay, but I dropped off pretty early. So, but I think I want to try this one out and give it another try. The other one that caught my eye was called Arranger, a role puzzling adventure. Looked like kind of like the graphics. Well, it was like tile based, like Dragon Quest or old Final Fantasy, and it's like when you moved, like the whole. It's not like the character is moving on the grid. It's like you were on a conveyor belt and the whole belt was moving.
Yeah, the whole line that she's on moves.
So I'm sure there's gonna be some motion puzzles involved with that. But that comes out in summer.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of low key showcase for you. That's fine.
Oh, I guess South Park also had my interest, but yeah, that's a game we knew about. That comes out March 23rd, 26th.
That's pretty soon. I mean that's not a remake of a game, is it though?
No, that's
It's
a new
brand
game.
new game. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I think it's the third game in that franchise with Stick of Truth
Yeah.
and something butthole. I don't remember.
Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole. Yes.
Yeah. I was telling Tim when that one popped up, the South Park video game franchise has had a lot more longevity than I think people really thought it would.
Well, the whole show is
The whole
gone.
show,
Well, yeah, but
that thing started in the late 90s.
I'm just saying that, you know, comparing that to The Simpsons, not as much video game longevity there.
Right.
yeah.
Because there's like 5 Simpsons games on the NES.
Oh yeah, there was a lot, and they were all
all
as
bad
balls and terrible. Yeah, Tim, what about you? What did you like about this partner showcase?
I liked it because there was a variety of things in it for sure that seemed like it would appeal to a lot of people. A lot of things for people who may not sit here and wait for Nintendo Directs or showcases to come for, but want to be able to have games to play, have a lot of options. And I think that's good. And there's a lot of things too for things that people may have missed in previous systems, either because they didn't have it or they didn't get a chance to play it, that came over, that I'm excited about too, that, you know, gives fresh a fresh coat of paint in some cases, or just, you know, a port of something to be able to get new audiences to the games, because, you know,
Yeah.
got almost 150 million people with Switches. They need something to play, so there's a variety of things. So I thought it was good. It was fun to wait to see what was coming up, because I didn't look at rumors. I didn't have time to look at rumors. So a lot of things that were surprises for me were things that you picked up on because you saw some of the rumors when we were watching, you know, the direct together or the showcase together. So, so a lot of stuff was a surprise for me.
Yeah. I think for me, like I told Tim when we started, that this was not, number one, this was not the direct I wanted. All right. I wanted a regular Nintendo Direct. But number two, the bar for what I hoped we would get, like expectation wise, the bar was on the floor. That being said, I thought they did a pretty good job. I thought this was a pretty good partner direct.
Yeah.
I've seen it, you know, I've seen the kind of a middling reaction to it online, but I think that for me, you know, there were some games here that I said, okay, that's really, I'm really interested in those games. I don't know that the word is excited, but I'm interested. Like, it's not like the level of excitement is not like, oh man, a new Mario game is coming out. Like,
Right.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
when it came out was like, oh yeah, I gotta play Wonder. But this is not that. None of these, like, there's several games in here that I will get and have already gotten. But like they're kind of just like, to me it was like a no prize, like, you know, runner up. Like this is to tide you over, as we say here in the South. So
Yeah.
tide you over. I do think that there were some really interesting things here. Tim, I know you and I both really like Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed.
Yes.
I did see today that they did confirm that it has an updated control scheme. And so I think that that's going to be one that
That's nice.
that was probably, if you remember playing that on the Wii, you moved Mickey with the nunchuck and you sprayed
Yes.
ink with the
Either the ink
Wiimote.
or the
And
thinner.
thinner.
yeah,
Yes, thank you.
I was not okay with that. So
Yeah, I did try to play the Wii version. I got a few hours in and fell off.
yeah. So I think I did the same. It was like there was some frustrating platforming there too. So knowing they're going back and looking at that, I'm okay with that. I'll probably be picking that one up. Monkey Ball was another one. That is a Switch exclusive from what I saw today. It's
Oh,
going to be about $45
nice.
on Switch. So that is just for us. It looks interesting. I want to try the Battle Royale mode, right?
Okay. Yes. Was that
Um,
16? Was it 16 players?
16 players. Yeah.
16 players, yeah.
A couple that I'll talk about later on in the show, Penny's Big Breakaway, Pepper Grinder, and Pocket Card Jockey are all ones that I really was excited about, as well as Contra. I thought that one was completely out of nowhere, right? But the one that I really stuck out to me from, and this like the highlight of the whole presentation for me, was those 5 rare games coming out on
Oh yeah,
the NSO
yes.
app.
The NSO in the I was not expecting, but it
No.
makes sense because
Yeah.
it's a partner.
Well,
Yeah.
So what that told me was we're not going to see rare replay.
No, we're not. But I do think that means I would not be surprised if this was wave 1 of
Right.
most of those games coming to NSO.
Yes.
I could see that coming. I could see that. I could see more games coming to be like a pseudo rare replay without being rare replay.
Right.
Yeah. That
Which
way
I
they don't
actually
have to they don't have to publish the entire title. They don't have to put development time into having it on Rare Replay. They can just release it through those channels that are already established, that are already there. That's
Okay.
that's kind of what I wish Capcom would do with the Disney Afternoon Collection at this point. Put them on the NSO app, the NES app. Let me play DuckTales again.
Right.
You know, I
That
don't
would
know.
be cool.
There's precedent for it now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Except, I guess, for the fact that those are licensed properties from Disney, but hey, they paid to have them put out in the Afternoon Collection anyway.
Right.
I don't understand it. I do think that it was very interesting that Japan gets Mother 3.
We're close. We're getting there.
You
English
think-
version's coming.
No,
It's coming.
Really? You think so?
It's coming. It's gonna be like, thank you for all these years of the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch would like to give you one last gift before it ends its life.
Yeah,
Mother
I
3
was.
English translation. Here
I
you go.
remember when Mother was released on Wii U, and in fact I was on vacation and couldn't buy it until I got home. But of course I tried playing it, and it was kind of hot trash.
Yeah, it's going to be like, what's going to happen is they're going to get to the very last legs of the Switch, and they're going to do a special presentation, and Reggie's just going to pop up, and he's going to be like, you're not playing your Nintendo Switch anymore? What's wrong with you? And then it's Mother 3 comes to Nintendo Switch.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
There you go. Exactly. So, you know, we're not getting this. I think this is the nail in the coffin. There
was discussion in the Discord about it. You know, I think someone said it might have to do with the something gypsies. I forget what they called it, but I'm like, well, that's easy enough to change the name of a character. That's not a big deal.
I don't think it's necessarily the name of the character. I think there's the way they're portrayed. So
okay,
and it's dialogue. It's
okay. See, I haven't gotten that far in the game. I did buy a GBA cart with the translation on it, but I never got around to playing it.
Yeah, see, I have that, and it's right here, but
I'm
in chapter 2. Oh well.
But I think what I think the main issue is some of the music might be copyrighted music.
Yeah. There's
flew under the radar in Japan, but wouldn't fly here.
Friendo in the chat says Beatles music is part of Mother 3. So yeah, that may be it too.
I don't think it's actual Beatles music. I think it's something that sounds like Beatles music.
Yeah, Beatles like. But
Take the
Yeah.
chance then. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have 10 notes in a row that matches the Beatles music. It might be enough to say as copyright.
So this is my question.
In fact, I think I'm thinking it might be from Get Back.
This is my question. Considering all of the information we got in this, seeing how far out some of these dates are, I'm looking at you, Fantasy Life, in October. We're going to talk about this a little bit, or maybe we can kill two birds with one stone here, Tim.
Let's do it.
All right.
Natural progression of conversation. Let's do
So
it.
Jeff Grubb, this week, well, not Jeff Grubb. That's for another discussion. It began to leak this week that, and it kind of started gaining steam, that these rumors were surfacing that Nintendo had punted the release date of Switch 2 to early 2025. After everyone saying, "Oh, it's definitely coming out this year. It's going to be this, it's going to be that," and then all these same people are saying, "Oh, it's 2025 now." With that in mind, does this presentation make you think, okay, yeah, maybe there's something to that?
Nope.
Okay.
That's me though. I think this is ridiculous about the whole 2024, 2025 thing. It feels like, 2024 is the year that we're going to get a Switch. The thing about delaying to 2025, okay, great. But what are they delaying? Nothing. Nintendo has never announced anything. There's no delay. How can you delay something there's no announcement
maybe not
for?
delay, but they moved to the release date.
Moved it from what? There was nothing they never announced anything.
It might have been an internal delay. Like they had a plan, and the plan shifted. It's just they never made that plan public.
For us, it's just obviously we've all built up to where it feels like 2024 is the right year for a new Switch. We've, kind of given it a pass, saying it's been long enough, or this is what Nintendo's done in the past when they've had a successful system and then they moved on to another.
Yeah. But they've never had one this successful.
Right.
The issue.
The other thing we have to remember too is that we didn't have COVID. So
yes,
that delays a lot of the stuff that was probably would have been planned in a normal life cycle. So that's why it's a little bit frustrating, as you probably can tell for me, is that it's fun to talk about, I feel like it's going to come out in 2024, but if it comes out in 2025, so be it. This is weird. It's weird for the whole industry. I mean, we've heard them talking about speculation about, what's happening with the PS5 and the Xbox, what their plans are and all that stuff. It's just,
I just think it's interesting that we get a ton of, I'm looking through this list that Jesse's prepared for us, tons of May, March, April, tons of that release dates, March, April, May, then a little bit of June or summer, then one October, right?
Yeah. Well, we also have to remember too that if things go the way that we assume they will, that the next successor will be able to play the stuff we've already bought or own on an eShop. It doesn't matter about these dates, and it doesn't matter if another Switch drops. We'll still be able to play these games.
If everything transfers over, which it should, and I hope it does, then the release date is kind of arbitrary,
right,
in a way. But I do think that it kind of shows that they're kind of beefing up this year. The other rumor that was kind of kicked around was that Nintendo's first party pipeline for 2024 was going to be kind of dry. But I mean, that's kind of a duh statement, right? I mean, if we're at the final throes of the Switch, they're not going to be full throttle first party at the very end.
Am I the only one seeing like a black cat and seeing like a glitch in the matrix here? Like deja vu? Because it seems like we had the same discussion this time of year last year. And then the year before that almost. Like at the beginning of every year, we're like, Nintendo isn't showing us anything. They're not doing anything. We're not going to get any games. We only know about X, Y, and Z.
Well,
Who
that's why
knows what's
that
going to
first
come
direct
out?
of the year is important when it's talking
Yes,
about Nintendo first party, and that's not the direct we got.
correct. Which we're still expecting. We still may get something here.
Maybe,
We still got
not.
one more week of February. We've seen it before where they've done a partner direct or showcase first.
I don't see them doing that because they're going to do Pokemon Presents next week.
True.
So
yeah. So maybe not.
Why run over Pokemon Presents? However, I went back and looked at the date of Nintendo's directs, like actual directs over the last 7 years. While most of them have been in February, there have been some deviations that they would be in March or April. But the other thing that I want to point out with that is those usually were not preceded by a partner direct. Like they were, there was just a long stretch of time where there was nothing.
Yep.
So this kind of feels like we're not getting a typical direct. I would say at this point that has been moved into that June slot when they're going to reveal whatever.
Unless this goes along with what Jesse was hoping what he would get right in his predictions. And that is they're not having a direct because they will be announcing something about a switch to a successor in March.
Mm-hmm. It could be true. That
But
could
if the
happen.
2025 pans out, it probably we're not going to hear that yet until after the summer. I would think.
I don't know about you guys. I've been burned too many times by the industry, people saying we're going to get this, that, and another.
I agree. I'm still hoping for 2024. I am,
yes.
but
I am open to it being
until Nintendo announces something.
Yes,
everything
we have no idea.
Still rumor or speculation.
Right. But let me throw another angle into this too, and that is that we did get Epic Mickey Rebrushed announced during this direct, right? And it was kind of like out of left field, like why in the world would they why is this coming up? Well, it may still be out of left field, but Jeff Grubb, who's actually been on our show before, mentioned a source of his who said that Epic Mickey Rebrushed was coming. And you may say, okay, great, that's fine. How is this important to this current decision or discussion? Well, that same source has also said that Metroid Prime 4 is a 2024 release title. Jeff mentioned this on the Giant Bomb stream that he was on this week. He says he's much more confident in Metroid Prime 4 releasing this year because he had heard about Epic Mickey Rebrushed from the same source. Here's his quote. Mike, I will say that this being confirmed gives me more confidence that we'll get Metroid Prime 4 this year. I got the rumor from the same place. Add to this, Jeff clarifying a little bit and saying he doesn't know if it'll release this year, but that as of last year, Nintendo was looking to get assets ready by May of 2024. But then he says everything could have changed since I was last updated. I would be willing to say that the last big first-party push for the Switch could be Metroid Prime 4, and we could see a release date and a trailer in May or June of this year.
Yeah. And that would be a good story too, because think of it this way, as like it was announced in the first year of the Switch, and now we'll get an announcement of it finally coming out in, say, the last year of the Switch.
Yeah.
That would be a good story to tell.
It's just great. The trailer will be great. Announced in the first year, releasing in its last year.
Right.
Right. 8 years have passed. The final Metroid will be released.
Yes.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see this. I know there's a lot of people who are very, very still on, they're still on we're very, very excited about Metroid Prime 4, right? Mm-hmm. You're one of them. So,
yes.
And keep
in mind what we just talked about too, is that again, if there is a successor that's truly just a Switch 2, then Metroid Prime 4 coming on the Switch there doesn't have to be two versions of it. It could just carry over
Sure,
to the new
sure.
Switch,
It
and
just and you
then
have that extra power.
maybe a packet
Switch
that
too, yeah.
Jesse has mentioned before that will automatically, give it more or whatever.
Yeah. More power.
Yes.
Be great.
So it doesn't have to have, we don't have to have two generations versions like the Zelda games, but it could just still be the same one that you play and
I
carry
honestly
over.
feel like what we've seen with the leap, and I'm going to do quotes around it, the leap between Xbox One X and Xbox Series, like not being all that huge. The leap between PlayStation 4 and 5 is not, I mean, well, at least Pro and 5 not being all that huge, that maybe the whole concept of generations will fade in the coming years as we just get more powerful iterations of the same thing, and that will allow these games to continue on longer, right? Like games as a service become more of a thing, which I really don't care for, but also like the Mario Kart thing, like Mario Kart 8 has lasted an entire two generations of Nintendo systems. Now, granted, one of those was shorter than the other, but still,
Still a long time.
it's a great example of that.
Hmm.
Overall, let's wrap up this part here about the partner. Overall grade, grading scale A through F. Where would you place this?
D.
I'm hovering between B plus and A minus. And I
That's
think
exactly where I am.
because I'm
Why?
trying to the Microsoft stuff, like, and we didn't talk about that too much. I don't think the whole grounded and
Yeah,
the other game
Pentiment.
coming, the Pentiment and yeah, those
Grounded
coming,
had
and plus we got
great
the rare games,
placement.
obviously. Yes.
Grounded had great placement in the direct. Pentiment
Yes.
had awful placement.
Right.
Like, why would you put that in a sizzle reel? Like, I get it. Like, I know what the game is, and it's not like the most action-packed game, I guess. But like,
Mhm.
so many people are raving about it.
Yep.
Why not feature it?
Are you disappointed they didn't give us any of the other ones of the four that they were talking about?
Yeah, no, because we didn't know what was coming. I swore that Hi-Fi Rush was rated for Nintendo Switch in Australia
Yeah.
by the ESRB, so it may still be coming.
Or their board,
But
not ours. But yeah.
yeah, so but what we know right now is that Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves are both going to PS5
Right.
within the next couple of months. So I don't know. I think we might still see them, or they may say, you know what, guys, Grounded and Pentiment are enough for you.
Right. Or it could have been they decided to divide it up rather than, everything all at once. It's like, okay, we'll do these two
Well,
now,
that's true. Yeah.
and then another direct we'll do
Well, then I
one
put
of
it
the
in the
two.
notes for Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves. We might see these in the Switch successor.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true. I know my son, he was like, "Oh, Grounded. Okay, cool. I'll just get that on my PC." He's way past the Switch, like,
Yeah.
it's
Isn't it already there on
so
PC?
to him it's so underpowered. Like,
Hmm.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm not
Well,
gonna
he's
do
not
that."
alone. Definitely. My
Yeah.
kids moved on from it too. They hardly touch their Switch either unless we do like family
Yeah,
gaming or something. So
that's right. Yeah. So just to kind of clarify some release dates there, Hi-Fi Rush is coming out on PS5 on March 19th. Sea of Thieves is coming out on PS5 on April 30th. Hi-Fi Rush will get a physical release via limited run games. Also, Pentiment will get a physical release via limited run, and pre-orders for that are open right now until March 24th. So if you're interested in the physical version of that, that will ship, sometime in the next 5 years or so, you can
2 years
get
from
yours
And,
now.
and
from
those
from
and those
limited run.
for Pentiment, you can get it for Switch, PlayStation 5, or Xbox physically.
So Pentiment is coming to PS5 as well.
Yes.
It's out now.
Yeah.
It came out today. So yeah, and that was weird too. It was like, hey, Grounded's coming out, and then Pentiment comes out tomorrow. They didn't even say its name. They didn't even like. Anyway, it's the whole thing. So we'll wrap that up. A couple other release dates and news items we want to hit here. Again, Pokemon Presents February 27th. That's in 5 days, 9 a.m. Eastern. Jesse, I just want to dive over to you for just a second for this. Anything that the Pokemon community is saying, hey, like we kind of see this coming, like big thing that you think's going to happen there, like a game release or whatever?
I haven't really been following any rumors or anything, but my guess is they'll talk about there might be another series of Netflix animations. Like I heard season 2 of the hotel one, Concierge.
Well, they've already announced that.
That was announced, but there's probably going to be other things announced. They're probably going to talk about something mobile, something new
Of course
with the cafe. Something new with the cafe game, maybe a whole new game altogether. They're not going to talk about Go at all because no one really cares anymore. Niantic barely cares anymore.
But no console game. No.
I think there's going to. I don't think we're going to do Gen 10 yet. I think we're a year away from that. But I think we'll have some sort of spin-off, whether it's Legends, another Legends game with a different legendary, whether it's Black and White remake, whether it's Let's Go Johto. It could be anything. It could be the Noah Bunga's Ambition 2 again. Remember that one from the 3DS?
Yeah. Someone in our chat said Pokemon Smile 2, floss your teeth out.
Oh boy.
It's the horror version of that. Anyway, so February 27th, look for some info on Pokemon. Also, right now, EA Sports FC Football Club. That's what that stands for. EA Sports Football Club 24 is available for NSO subscribers via game trial. This started a couple days ago. It ends on the 26th. It is on sale for $17.99 until March 3rd. However, something to be warned about here. It's a 31 gigabyte download, meaning it won't even fit on your original Switch. If you don't, you can download if you have an OLED, but unless you have a memory card, an SD card, you cannot download this game.
But memory cards are the cheapest they've ever been.
Absolutely.
I think you can get a 64 gig for under $20. Amazon had the 1 terabyte for like $80, and I bought the 1 terabyte 2 years ago for $200.
Mm-hmm.
1 terabyte. I highly recommend it too, by the way, this game.
A 1 terabyte, and maybe you don't want to buy this one, but I'm just throwing it out here. The very first search is a 1 terabyte micro SD card that's $21.99.
No, that one's a scam.
Don't buy that one.
Don't buy it. But I do highly recommend picking up this game if you're into soccer at all and sports games and you want to play it on the go. This is a really good sports game.
Sandisk has one for $79.99 right now.
So, that one is trustworthy. The one terabyte for the 1 terabyte for $30. What that normally is, it's like 128 gig that's been modified so it thinks it's a 1 terabyte, so it'll work initially, and then once you try to write the past 128 gigs, it'll fail because it's nothing there.
Why are people the way they are?
I don't know. We can't have nice things.
They want money.
Yeah, that's true. So you can check that out. Tim says it's good. If you like the football and not the American kind, you can who turned into Swedish
get soccer. Just get the soccer game.
Soccer is out. Yeah. So a couple other release dates and updates to let you know about before we hit an ad break here. Slime Boo is out February 22nd. We've got a video up. It's out. We're out today. It's a brand new indie game. The developer of this contacted us and asked if we would be willing to talk about the game and do a video on it. Send us over a copy so you can go check that out on our YouTube channel right now and out soon next week. Picross fans, your time has come. Picross S+.
The reason why we were late is because we had to settle Jesse down about this because he was getting all excited about this news. Right? We were just like, okay, Jesse, we understand. This is your game.
This is the Picross games from the DS or 3DS, right?
Yes, the 3DS.
The 3DS. So Picross E series redone for the Switch. The first one comes with the game. The other 9 or so will be DLC, which can
Yeah,
equal out to what you said, 2,000 puzzles.
almost 2,000 puzzles. And when I first heard about S Plus, I there's a rumor that they might include E10 content, which was Japanese only. We never got that.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay. We'll see when it comes
that's
out.
cool.
But in the
That's a lot
video,
of puzzles.
the video that the trailer that I saw from the other day only did mention up to 9. So either 10 isn't happening or it's a secret. Shush.
You gotta unlock it when you complete all the puzzles 1
It's
through 9.
post credits. It's the
Maybe.
post credits
Yes.
scene,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
After
Right,
150 hours of Picross.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm gonna throw this out here too. We've got some brand new videos up on the channel. They're coming out. Tim just did 30 minutes with Splatoon 3 DLC side order. Slime Boo's up there. Bandletail is up. Unicorn Overlord will be out within the next couple of days. The demo. Penny's Big Breakaway, I did a video on that. It's going to be up in the morning, as well as Pocket Card Jockey Ride On. So if you want to see something about those. And then in the coming days, we've got some videos about games we can't talk to you about yet. But know that I think you're going to like them. So with that being said, that's the end of our news. Let's take a moment to hear from our good friends over at Manscaped.
Hey, listen, it's dangerous to go alone or with a partner without the right tools.
Listen.
Take this, the Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0. Taking control of your bush responsibly is important. These products are so good, you're going to be showing off your Master Sword and rupees with pride. Also, take the Beard Hedger to keep your face looking good in Hyrule. It's a fact that you will have the best kept sack in all of Hyrule. Save big and be the most hygienic version of yourself by using our discount code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use our code NINDADS. It's time you level up and impress your Zelda with the ultimate bushwhacking tools from Manscaped.
All right, this week's question of the week we pose each week on our Patreon weekly update post, which, by the way, is available for free for everyone. You don't just have to be a patron of the show. You don't have to be a member. You can go over there to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads and read that every week. This week's question was, what is your favorite online game that's appeared on a Nintendo system? We had some folks weigh in over there on Patreon. Simon Hawkins says, I think my favorite online Nintendo game would be Splatoon 3. My reason is it doesn't seem to make you feel inadequate if you've not played for a while, whereas some games like Fortnite or Call of Duty have players that punish you for not being so good. I hope this makes sense. Jason says Paladins and Rocket League were the two online Switch games that had my attention for a long time. Animal Crossing had so much online potential, especially when we had Dad Crossing and the group events there. Hopefully they learn this lesson for the next Animal Crossing game. Hoots says it's probably Monster Hunter Rise. Give me a chance to catch up with friends, or gave me a chance to catch up with friends I would not, or would have otherwise not likely have caught up with. Mecha says favorite online game on Switch, if we're talking first party, Smash and Mario Kart. These are basic answers. I know, I'm sorry. But for third party, the usual games I play online are Master Duel and Overwatch. New patron
That
Shy Guy.
sounds like Mecha. Yep.
Yeah, it does. It does. Shy Guy says Splatoon 3. So much fun teaming up with friends. Woo me. And then Jamie says Tetris 99 is a personal favorite, but the ability to play all the older games with online multiplayer on the Switch is absolutely amazing. What about you guys? Jesse, Tim, what is your favorite online game that's appeared on a Nintendo system?
Well, as you know, I don't normally like online. So the game I would answer would be Mario 35. That is one I did play. I did get to level like 100 or star 00 or whatever they called it. like just before the game went down.
Nice. But, I got a couple of them. The F-Zero 99, it actually surprised me because I didn't grow up on F-Zero, if you will, or play a lot of F-Zero when they were originally out. So when I gave it a try, I actually was like, I had a lot of fun with it. And then so that's one of my favorites. But I actually really like NSO, especially the N64 four-player games, you know. It gives me that feeling that I had when N64 was out and go to a friend's house and play, you know, just pick up a controller and play certain games. So it's a lot of fun to be able to go on that. And when we do our Friday night NSOs, you know, once a month, we tend to gravitate towards the N64 games because there's 3 or 4 of us doing that, and we can play, you know, Mario Party together online, all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Plus, we got those new ones coming out, so it'll be even more fun.
Jesse stole my answer. Actually, I was going to say Mario 35. I mean, it was such a unique concept. It's the most fun I've had online playing against people in a long time.
Especially when you had like 2 parties going on.
Oh yeah. But Mario Kart 8 was my other, and yeah, Mecha may be a little bit basic, but it's good. It's good, solid online. Also, back in the day, used to play a lot of Mario Kart online with the DS. Back when online functionality was available there. I sucked at it then. I suck at it now, but I still have fun. So there you go. At least you can play battle mode online now with the Switch version.
Now that you mention it, Mario Kart Deluxe, the 8 Deluxe or whatever, is a lot of fun. That's the go-to for a lot of times for our community or for Extra Life. You know, whenever we're going to do a big group of things online, it's a bunch of people can get together and play Mario Kart. And that's probably a great example of a good Nintendo online experience, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, guys, great answers. Thanks for participating. Everybody who sent your answers in. Look for another question next week. We've already talked about all our rumors for this week, so let's head straight into some events. We want to invite you guys to become part or come be a part of the table. The table meets every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern. This is where the community gets together to talk about what's on everybody's mind. If you want to join in, you just got to be a Patreon member or access the Discord through Twitch, through that Twitch Prime subscription. And as the notes say here, it is very therapeutic because we don't record these sessions. We're just hanging out, just friends hanging out, enjoying each other's company. Sometimes we play online games, sometimes we don't. Tim, what's the date of the table, the next one?
The next one is, again, it's every third Friday, so it's the 15th of March.
You already missed the table this month.
Yes,
this month's done. Anticipate it for next month.
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah,
which
it came up quickly.
I missed it as well. Yeah, when the first of the month is Thursday this month, and the first of the month is Friday next month.
Yeah, it's like the 15th. That's weird.
Yeah,
now that I have internet here at the house, I may actually be able to join.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome!
I'm excited. So
you're going to blow people's minds.
To show up. I know it's
who's this guy?
It's nobody. That's who it is. Also, we want to mention right now that Dads After Dark has a Golfinity event going on in the Discord. And so this is not monthly mayhem, though, right? Or is it?
It's kind of impromptu. Drew was playing a golf game and was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And he threw together.
Yeah, it's kind of monthly mayhem adjacent.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take that. Also, if you're a part of our Discord, you can head over to the Retro Logic channel and community there and become part of their monthly Retro Logic Retro Rewind. So don't forget that that's available to all over on the Discord. We would love for you to be part of that. Again, if you want to be a part, patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And you'll figure out how to join up when you're over there. It's now time for a timeout. So our timeout, for those of you who don't know, maybe your first time listeners or haven't ever made it this far in the show, who knows? This is time for Nintendo Dad Talk. All right. So just sharing whatever we're excited about or whatever we're geeking out about this week, or maybe something that's going on in our lives. And so, Jesse, we'll start with you. What is your timeout for this week?
All right. So I mentioned before I'm taking an intro to electronics class, and like the first thing they teach us is Ohm's law, and so with here's a basic circuit, and we can use it to calculate if we know voltage and resistance, we can figure out the current, things like that, and then the circuits get more and more complicated. Initially serial, then it was parallel, and then now we're getting to a mixture of both. One of the other older guys in the class who needs extra practice to get the methodology down about how to solve those type of problems. Bought a workbook he found on Amazon for it was like $16-17 called Ohm's Law Workbook with Complex Circuits. And they have ones for simple circuits too. And he showed it to me, and I'm like, that's kind of a cool idea. I don't need the help, but still, I like puzzle solving. And these can be treated like a puzzle. Just it's a big math problem, or a book of 100 math problems. So I'm like, okay, I think I might just have fun with doing that and using what I learned in the class with all these equations. So I ordered one for myself. That'll be coming tomorrow, so I'll be able to play a little bit with that. And so yeah, a little geeky, nerdy, but aren't we all, right?
Right.
Yes, of course.
Then the other thing I wanted to talk about is various poker tournaments that I've participated in and will participate in. First in the Vegas Infinite VR PlayStation VR game. For a while, when they introduced in December, I think it was patch 3 in December, was the December patch introduced weekly leaderboards and all-time leaderboards. And so most people who play the sit and goes would play the 20,000 buy-in and the 100,000 buy-in. They would try $1 million buy-in, but they would never get enough people brave enough to risk that much money of their bankroll. At the time, my bankroll was like in the 3 millions. So risking a million of that's literally a third of my entire bankroll in the game. Wasn't really willing to do that. Did manage to get up to 4 million, so I decided to try it once. And we actually got a game going. We had 8 players. The first hand, I got trip 4s, knocked 2 people out in one hand. Then by hand 6 or 8, I knocked 2 more people out. So by the end of this thing, I literally knocked out all 7 of my opponents by myself to win the tournament.
Jesse, the high roller.
So I am now number 1 on the weekly leaderboard because we are the only table to actually complete $1 million table. So when the end of the week rolls around Sunday evening, I'll see what type of rewards I get for being number 1 on a leaderboard.
I'm starting to get ideas for a new T-shirt for Jesse's character.
Oh. Right. So then after class on Monday, I went to play poker at the bar. I left class early because I was ahead of my labs, so I really didn't have to hang around during lab time. So I made it in time to play the 7 o'clock game. I got there just before the 8 o'clock cutoff. While I got 11th place out of 36 people, I think they had. But I had a 4 of a kind during that tournament. And I'm like, okay, cool. That doesn't happen very often. Then I played the late game. Got 4th place on that one. I got another 4 of a kind. But I had 2 4 of a kinds in a single night, where normally you don't see a 4 of a kind show up at all during a tournament. So I was pretty happy. I was
Nice.
Yeah, and then with the league that I play with, they have a quarterly tournament that all you have to do is get final table at least once to get and record your where you end, and you get points based on where you rank. And from October to December, I had enough points to get 23rd place out of all the players in the league, including 3 of them were wins. I don't know how many non-wins I had. They didn't record that. But the number 1 person got 11 wins. That was pretty crazy. So anyway, anyone who ranked is getting invited to a quarterly tournament, which is this weekend. So it'll be a Saturday afternoon game starting at 1 my time. So I'll be participating in that. And it'll be
Nice.
this will be the biggest tournament I've played in a while. I don't know how many tables they'll run, probably 7 or 8, depending on how many people show up.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because I'm messing with your graphic right now. So
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's going to be good. Tim, what about you? What's your timeout for the week?
All right, I'll put that on pause. I'll work on that later. Maybe post show, I'll work on that a little bit more. So mine's a little bit more of a dad topic, I think, probably, just to kind of put it out there. Recently had a doctor's appointment for my youngest. And in that doctor's appointment, they indicated that your son gained close to 60 pounds since the 9 months that we saw him. So they were concerned about that, and they said he needs to, not necessarily lose weight or anything like that, but start watching what he eats. Obviously, he should have been anyways, but he needs to get on some like a diet, almost watch his carb count, watch his carbs and his calories type of thing, so that he can be at a healthy weight. And that was, I don't know about anybody else, but when you go to a doctor's appointment and you're telling him, hey, he's having trouble, with this, that, and another thing, and then they say, well, it might have something to do with, him gaining weight, like 50 pounds in 9 months. That made me feel kind of sucky. Like, what am I doing wrong as a dad to let him be able to eat that much and gain that many pounds, in that quick of a time? So, we're in a place right now where we're trying to get him to understand. And when you're neurodivergent, it's kind of hard, but you're trying to get him to understand about eating right and not in the moment type of thing, and trying to get into that. So it's a tough call, a tough thing to deal with, especially when you have to hear that. And if you're like me, you feel like you failed your son or something, and helping him be able to control that a little better.
Yeah, so just transparency here. We've dealt with the same thing with my son, and I mean he's 6'2", but he's also a pretty big dude, and I mean I'm a pretty big dude. So I
Yeah.
mean that, like, I don't think it's any secret if people have ever seen us. We're big people. We're just our whole family. And so, we've struggled with this. And recently, he said, I want to start eating better. And so you know, I think he's at a stage now. I mean, he's almost 17. He'll turn 17 in April. That he's got to make some of those decisions for himself, and we've got to let him do that. But like we struggled so much with the like him sneaking food and him
Yeah.
overeating and
Yeah.
him.
We've
I
talked
think
about
I've
that before.
talked about
Yeah.
before, like he didn't have like the turn off, that said,
Yep.
"Hey, I'm full," and then he would just be miserable.
That's where
But
we're at right now, is those
on
things you
the
just mentioned.
yeah, on the other hand, like, he like one of the things that we've tried to do is try to reinforce when he makes good choices, like, hey, that's really good. Like, um, he's got on this kick. His friend group has decided that the local tap water causes cancer. because one of their granddads said, I put all the chemicals in the water and it causes cancer. So he wants bottled water. But so I buy him bottled water, even though I think it's stupid, but he will drink bottled water. He won't drink, like he'll actively go and get bottled water instead of getting Cokes and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, so this is a good choice. So I'm going to make sure he has bottled water, right? Like so we're going to reinforce good choices. We're going to try to undergird some of that stuff, but he did the same thing. He put on a lot of weight really quick, and I think something you said is so key to remember that. And that's not like, this is not just like an excuse so that like me and you can sweep it under the rug, or other parents who deal with things like we do sweep it under the rug. But one of the things that you have to look at, Tim, is that neurodivergence plays a huge factor in food and eating issues, right? So like some of that is stuff that you can fight and fight and fight and fight and fight, but it just doesn't, like, it's not gonna, I hate to say it's not gonna change, but you get what I'm saying, like
Yeah,
you know
I get it.
and also too, like I really struggle with like my dad and mom, to an extent more my dad, like did some very damaging things when I was younger, regarding my weight. Like
Hmm.
he made me go to Weight Watchers with a bunch of old women once a week at this church, in this church basement.
Yeah,
Like get weighed in front of people and stuff. And I was the only kid there. I was 8 years old. He would like force me to exercise on an exercise bike. Yeah, and it's probably abusive. I mean, and so I developed this attitude about exercise and about that
right.
weight loss that is like extremely negative. So I have to fight with
Yeah,
that. So just that's like
that's
that.
the tough part. That,
Do
and I think
people? I
Ebicel
don't know
says
that
it.
like people
Ebicel said this
understand.
real quick. I'll say this that he mentioned that I thought was pretty good. He says, very delicate balance of modeling being a good parent and not giving them a negative body image.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough because again, like I have that negative image from my dad,
Right.
and I don't like, so like there's a part of me that whenever we talk about the eating or the tendencies, I'm just like, we're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about weight. We're not going to talk about eating. We're not going
Right.
to talk about any of that. And that doesn't, that extreme also doesn't do any good.
Right. Trying to find that balance again. And that's the part that's been tough um, to find without sounding doing the negative things, because I don't want it to be like you said, where it's like you were forced to do something, now you hate it or whatever. Kind of like that was with me. My punishment as a kid for getting bad grades was I was grounded and had to read. And now I don't like to read. Maybe,
Way
and
to make
that's
you hate education. You
so
don't get good grades. You've got to do more.
you got to go, you're grounded, you can't watch TV, you can't, do this or that, go outside, you got to stay in your room and read.
Yeah.
So,
Whew.
and
Okay.
I mean, I don't blame, I'm not, like, oh, it's your fault, mom and dad, for making me not a reader. I'm just saying, they were doing what they thought was best at the time. And,
Sure.
yeah. So, but at the
Sure.
same time, and that goes with anything else too. It's like, but I'm trying to learn from their mistakes, other people's
Yeah.
mistakes, and not be negative, because my wife also had that experience with her dad being
Hmm.
negative about that kind of stuff. So it's it's
Yeah.
a tough
Man, that
balance and
sucks.
thing, and you also want to make sure that they're healthy. And I always try to talk about it that way. It's like I don't really care about the weight part. It's more about healthy and you being alive, and
Right.
stuff like that.
Like we would rather it be like you're building good long-term
Yes,
habits,
yes,
not like, because I've lost weight before in life and put it all back on,
right,
like, and then some.
yes.
So
Jesse, I
I,
can't
I
hear
didn't I
you.
didn't build good habits.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I was back to where I was in 2018. That was like the I weighed the least then that I've weighed since college. And then I
Yeah,
put it all,
yeah.
and then I put all that weight back on, and then some.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
So yeah, we're trying to figure that one out, and we got a few things in play for that, and it's still hard too because he's still. I mean, it's not a switch, obviously, to turn on and off, especially with that neurodivergency and wanting that instant gratification, um, and not even thinking what's the word my wife uses
Yeah.
all the time, but not thinking of not necessarily consequences, but it just in the moment thoughts, like, ooh, there's this snack. I love it. I'm going to eat it. Not thinking of I already
Yeah,
had a snack or
yeah. Well, like I did keto, but in 2018, 2017 through 2019, and then I stopped when the pandemic hit, and it initially was hard to try to. Okay, does this have carbs? Does it not have carbs? And what can I can't eat? But once you do have a system down, and you're okay with, okay, oh, my friend's having a candy bar. Okay, fine. I
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
one. I don't need
Yeah.
one.
And thanks
Yeah.
to Ibicella, the word I was looking for is impulse control. That's what the phrase I was looking for.
Yeah, I think you have to guard against one of the things we laugh about in our house is this Japanese phrase that we learned about 6 months to a year ago. And it's basically the English, the closest English equivalent of it doesn't really have a like literal translation, but the closest English equivalent to it is lonely mouth. I'm eating because my mouth is lonely. It's
Yes.
kuchi sabishi.
Okay.
And so it's
Never
like
heard of that one, but okay.
my mouth was lonely, so have some Oreos.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, are you hungry or is your mouth just lonely?
Right.
But
See,
man, that's
some
a
zero
struggle.
sugar gum normally will fix that. If you're in the mood to chew something, but you don't want to actually consume anything, having some of that
It's
around
that same
helps.
thing, same idea with behind
That
smoking, right? You're
that
trying to
doesn't
quit
help me
smoking.
because I'm usually just in the mood to put some Oreos inside of my stomach.
The flavor,
I
yes.
just say like I want now if they would make Oreo flavored chewing gum that tasted like Oreos, then yeah, sure. Let's do it.
For 2 seconds.
Speaking of flavors, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw this here. This is my non timeout of the week because I don't think that you need to do this at all. Is awful. I was at Walmart earlier today picking up a power strip for my desk, and I noticed that they had a brand new flavor of Coke out. It's called Coke Spiced, and it's the awfulest thing I've ever put in my mouth. It's awful. It is. It says on the wrapper a hint of spices and raspberry. And initially, I said, "Why would they do this? I need to try it." I bought the zero sugar version. We brought it home, and it was the nastiest thing
I can't wait to
I've ever
try it.
drank. Tim, don't do it.
I have to try it.
Yeah, I'll
I
try
have
it.
to. I want to know. I want
I'm
to
curious too. I'll try it once.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just bad. I hate that I spent $2 on it. Coke
I always
Spiced is
like to
gross.
see how they mess with the stuff and see what the latest
I
craziest
just
they
wish
do.
that they had left the first one they did was really good. The Starlight,
Okay.
it was like Coke with marshmallow. And it was great. And then they
Yeah.
got rid of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough timeout. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Jesse, you have one thing on your list. You get to go first.
Yeah, for the third week in a row, I've been playing more of that Zelda 2 remake on PC. I started a random run with, they have various levels of randomization. I told it to randomize the items, but not to the point where it can soft lock me. Apparently there is a setting for that. Well, why would you ever choose that? And some randomized monsters. So like the dungeon layout will still be the same, the bosses will still be the same, but the items you get may be different. And so, like, normally
That just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
it is, because like have you played Zelda 2? Are you familiar with it?
Mm-hmm.
So, you go to the first town, you can get a spell right away with nothing else. Go to the second town, you have to find a trophy to hand in to get the second spell, which is jump, which is a very important spell for traversal. Without that, you are blocked off about to like 35% of the map. The trophy was located in a cave on the eastern continent, where I needed the raft to get there and then water boots to get to the cave. So I needed to get all that stuff before I could even get the trophy to get jump.
Wow.
Oh.
Why?
So once I was able to get jump, then I was able to pretty much get every other item in the game. And so I'm able to now. Actually, just before the recording, I finished Temple 5. I still have to go back and do 4 and 6, and then I can finish it. But at this point, I have all. There's still a few items I don't have yet that'll be that are randomly scattered, that are probably in the temples, because I've checked everywhere else in the game that I can. In fact, I just recently there's in this version of the game they have the Book of Medora, which if you certain tombstones in the game, I think there's like 3 or 4 of them, is written in a text that isn't readable unless you have the book, and then it does a translation, and it lists 4 spells you have to cast. If you cast those spells in order, then something happens. Like a passageway opens up, and a rare enemy spawns, depending on what it is. So I finally got the book like this evening, so I can go back and now do those other things that I missed.
Gotcha. All right, Tim, you and I have been playing an awful lot.
Yes.
So let's talk about the one game we've been playing that kind of it does intersect, and that's Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yes.
Which released last week after the show was over. We've had about a week with it. What do you think about Mario versus Donkey Kong?
A couple things. Apparently, I don't remember a lot of it because when I was playing it, it was like, wait a minute, I don't remember going to the jungle. What is going on here? I actually opened it up on my 3DS to go back to playing it, and like, did I actually play this? And I did, but it was like, because I have the, what was it, the ambassador version of it?
program.
Yeah, I have it there, and I thought I had it in the Game Boy Advance, but maybe I was thinking of the DS game or something, and maybe I played more of that than this one. So, but yeah, it's still a great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving it, and it's like brand new to me because apparently I can't remember when I did play it. So, and I'm enjoying the puzzles. Right now, I think a few people in Discord are saying the same thing, but in the earlier stages, it feels kind of easy in a way. I mean, you can get through the puzzles, you get a good enough time, and I mean, it's still fun. I can jump into it, complete a few puzzles, and then go on to a different game and then come back to it when I want to play it.
There is a point in this game though that it gets ridiculously difficult. It's the very last. Well, let me say this: the very last stage. There is post game content. I won't tell you what it is.
Yeah, I heard that.
I beat it. Beat the main part. I guess the main part of the game.
Was it like 7 worlds?
Tuesday night, 8.
8 worlds.
8.
Okay.
And World 8 was just the first 3 stages of World 8 were okay. The last 3, I wanted to be done. Like I was like, I'm over this.
It's like, oh, good game. Put it away now.
It's so, and that you saying that actually kind of sums up how I feel about this game, is that I was excited about it and I still am, but it's a good game, but it's not a great game. Like, you know, it's it is what it is. And so I would caution you on that it's very limited. It doesn't turn into something else, like halfway through the game or anything. It is just what you play in the demo.
Yeah,
Expansion.
post game is not going to be your Bowser's Fury, right? So
No, it's not going to be anything. So it's a good game, but it's not a great game. Like I'm
it's
gonna play it.
it's a
I'm
good one to
probably
have on
gonna
hand when you want to
yeah,
go play some quick games or something, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this probably through once and then that's it. Like if they DLC it or something, I may come back to it. Beer asks in our chat if we think it's worth $50.
I think the
That's a
original Game
long
Boy.
pause.
I think the original retail price of GBA games would have been like 30 or 35.
Yeah, I think that it would have been better at a $29.99 price tag. But let me come back to that after I finish the post game content. All right,
Yeah,
because
I
like
understand there's
I
supposed to
feel
be
like
more added.
there
Yeah,
is more to the post game content than I'm seeing right now
right. Yeah,
without
and I was
spoiling
gonna say
anything.
I don't want to answer that until I've gotten farther too. So because I'm not
Yeah,
far enough to
like
say it's whether or not.
if it was just the original 8 levels with basically 6 worlds each plus a minis level and a boss fight, it's a $30 game.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I would say that too. It's definitely not voucher worthy.
Well, I would say if the game's $50, don't use a voucher on it,
Yeah,
regardless,
yeah,
because you're not saving any money that way.
that's right. That's right. So with that being talked about, Tim, you've got lots of games you've been playing that I have not. So you go ahead and then I'll follow up.
Okay. I'll try to get through some things that you could probably watch a video on or whatever too. So quickly, Baldur's Gate 3, Sam and Shannon and I finally beat it in our run of the game after playing once a week over several months. It was a blast playing with those guys, and it was great to have that experience to be able to go online and play a major role-playing game with other people. And Sam did an awesome job leading us into that because I certainly didn't know what I was doing some of the times. And yes, I've made mistakes and hurt my team members with some magic, but they had enough health, they were able to recover. So but it was a lot of fun times in there. A lot of times I wish I could have recorded some of those things that happen and do like a clip thing. But I did record the last game, and that was our last run. That was interesting. What we thought was going to take a couple hours and we were going to be done and beat, it ended up not being a couple hours because unfortunately Shannon didn't know there was an update to the game, and we had to wait for his update to go through, and it was a big update because
Oops.
it was like patch 6, which is, if you've seen anything in the news about patch 6, it's Boulder's Gates new kissing mechanics or something, or kissing things that they added into the story, uh, and a lot of other things too. But anyways, it was that we had to wait for that to get done, and he felt bad about that, and we were like, oh, that's all good. And then what else happened? Oh, the patch broke us being able to get into the game. So luckily we found a workaround where, because the patch wouldn't allow you to start the game where you left off if it wasn't in your camp. If you were in an area that
Oops.
was redlined or whatever they called it, you couldn't start the game. So the game was broken, but thankfully, Sam and we did a little research and we found a way for us to get in by doing some roundabout, start a new game, create a quick character, and then he would be able to load our original game in and start us where we left off. So crazy Baldur's Gate patches. Game of the year, folks. Game of the year. No, but it was a great game. The storylines are great and stuff like that. And I would love to be able to play that with my family, if we all had the means to do it. Because I think because we all like D&D, we've been playing the tabletop version of D&D, and I think they would probably like playing this, and it would be cool if we could do like a that capability. If they had cross play with all the different systems, which they say they're going to do, but right now they don't, then we'll be able to do that. But right now we can't. because we don't have my wife doesn't have a PlayStation. So we wouldn't be able to play that way. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 was a lot of fun. For on my PS5, I also dove into Helldivers 2.
I see what you did there.
Yes, thank you. It is an online, you jump in, Starship Troopers game, essentially. If you know what that movie is, it's about, you
Yeah.
just it's basically a game. It's a game about spaceship troopers. You're going in a team, and you're trying to kill, bugs, trying to prevent the bugs from attacking your planet and all that kind of stuff. And there's also robots too that you can go and prevent as well. But they had some problems with people getting online, so I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted to, because at the times I was trying to jump in, the game kept crashing or wouldn't let me jump in quickly and play a match or two. So, but apparently they fixed it, and hopefully this weekend I'll be able to play some more. And I know a lot of people in our community, like John Blanco, who does the PlayStation, he's got a PlayStation, podcast he does daily, and he likes to talk about this game. And he was looking for other people to come join in with him, so I downloaded it. But again, I was having problems jumping in. So hopefully I'll be able to jump in with the people that are online in our group and play finally with them. So that's Helldivers 2 on the PS5. Now, as far as Switch games go, there's quite a few that I did that's out on our channel. So if you want to know how that went, you can watch my first look at some of these games, like Evil Nun, The Broken Mask, and DreadOut 2. These are two games that I called spooky first look in the videos. And so if there's other games that are spooky, I might keep that series going. And the goal is to see if it actually will scare me. DreadOut 2 had got a little bit of the hairs on the back of my neck standing up in some cases. So, and then Evil Nun, Broken Mask was more like a Hello Neighbor type game, where you're basically trying to get away from, something or someone.
I ain't doing it.
And
I'm not
fix
doing
the puzzles.
I'm just not playing that.
Right.
Nope.
I'm nope.
Nobody was. And so I was like, you know what? I'll take one for the team and play these and see what
Bless
they're
your
like.
heart, because golly.
If you're into spooky games, those are ones to check out.
That's a one-way ticket to Pee Pee Pants Town, is what that is.
That's why you need to do a video and then turn
or
off all the lights.
No.
Turn off all the lights.
Or your brown pants.
No, listen. There's a lot of things I'll do for Nintendo Dads.
You're not doing a scary game.
I'm not doing it.
All right.
No. I'm not even playing. Like, I'm not even exaggerating the no on this.
Understood.
Just a no. I'm not doing it.
Well, a more fun game, not so scary, is the Golfinity game. I downloaded that, playing that, got my scores in for, the Dads After Dark's Golfinity challenge. I'm on the board. I feel pretty good. I'm on the board, and I'm not last place. That's, I'm good. Because if you've seen some of them playing and the scores they've been getting, it's like, I'm good. You guys have fun with that. I've been playing. Also, we did Friday night NSO, and we played Jet Force Gemini. That was me and Chris and Shannon. We played that, and that was the first time I got to play that game. And I didn't look at how to play it, so it was trying to figure out what to do and what to play. We actually did a pretty good job of getting used to it very quickly and jumping around. And obviously, being an N64 games, the controls, if you're used to first-person shooter type games or even third-person shooters, you're used to certain controls, and this doesn't have it. So you're going to have to relearn how to move around.
It's an N64 game. Nothing's normal on an N64.
Nothing. That's the only thing I wish that I would do as an N64 game, is without being so complicated and going into the systems. Yeah, I've got that. I tried it with that, and it still was difficult. I've got mine right here.
Yeah.
I tried it with that.
Yeah, it's hard to use dual stick controls when you have one stick.
Yeah. Well, even still, I tried it with that, and it was still my mind couldn't wrap myself around how to control it. Some of this stuff, and the looking around was the part that I was having trouble with, because there's no looking around. So, but anyways, I could see why it was a fun game at its time. 4 players, local, get together, go around shooting each other in these stages, made by the same people who made GoldenEye. So, it's fun. And especially if you can get over the controls, or if you really, really want to, you can go into the system controls and map your controls the way you want them. I just didn't have time to do that. So, we talked about Mario versus Donkey Kong. And 2 more videos that are out there on our channel that I also did was first looks on, or let's plays on, Geometry Survivor. So if you like Geometry Wars and you don't mind roguelike games, you're going to want to play Gemini Survivor. Geometry Survivor. Because it's basically Vampire Survivor mashed with Geometry Wars. With the, everything looking like the Geometry Wars games. So, and you're just flying around shooting. You don't have to press any buttons. You're just trying to avoid all of the shapes coming at you and all the things they do and make it through a run in 20 minutes. And some people are way better at that kind of stuff than I am. And it's going to take me a little bit longer to get through the 20 minutes. But I'm having a blast trying to get through it and picking my, weapons and trying to find the best build through that run. I came close. I think I had 18 minutes and something seconds in the last run I did. So, I'm loving being able to jump in there and try to do a run or two. So again, Geometry Survivor, highly recommended. And if you want to, again, I have a video out on that to check out what that looks like. And then finally, Splatoon 3 side order DLC. I got that today, or last night actually is when we got it. And I played a little bit last night and then a little bit today. And then I did the between floors 4 through 8 on the video. So I try not to give too much away, but just trying to share what the game's about. It is also a roguelite game where you get upgrades through between each floor. And then when you get to a certain floor, you can start picking which upgrade you want to get first. There's a total, I didn't know this at the time I did the video, but there's a total of 30 floors, and you're trying to find out why Pearl is a robot and Marina's stuck in the Spire. So so you're trying to figure all that stuff out in this story.
Still not going to make me play Splatoon 3 anymore.
Understood. Nope.
It's done and deleted.
Well,
I'm sorry.
This is not a multiplayer game, and I understand because I wish you could buy this separately. I wish this were one of those things to where people didn't have to own Splatoon 3, but could buy this on its own, be a standalone side game. Because I think it would be worth it for the same price of buying the DLC for $25, maybe even $20. Be able to play this roguelite Spire, get through the Spire and with Splatoon characters. It would be a different way to play Splatoon.
So what you're saying is, this should have been called Splat the Spire.
Yes, it should have.
You get that one for free tonight.
Splatoon 3 side order is, again, the video's out there. First of Let's Play, I should say, of the first of 4 or 5 floors.
Okay.
Go check that out.
So let me run through these pretty quick because, again, like you, Tim, I've got a lot of these up as videos, or they're going to be up as videos in the next couple of days. Let me start with the ones that aren't videos. I was pleasantly surprised during the partner direct that we found out that the Pepper Grinder demo was available for that game, and it's amazing. I love this game already. I love the little taste of it that we got. Devolver, don't miss. I say it all the time. Devolver, don't miss. This is going to be one that I'm going to. It's like it's an immediate pickup, right? The music is great. It's weird. The mechanic is just really fun. So there's a good challenge there. On the other side of the demo aisle, I also downloaded the Contra Operation Galuga demo, and it is hard as balls. What the heck? I really do like the upgrades that they made. Like, for those of you who don't know, this is a reimagining of the original Contra. So there's all kinds of I mean, it's the same levels and callbacks, but there's a lot of upgrades to it. Your character now has a health bar. You can play one hit kill mode, but you don't want to because it's ridiculous. The enemies, there's a lot of surprising things happening with the enemies that if you're a big fan of the old Contra, like it'll kind of throw you. The weapons you can stack. So like if you have a spread shot and then you get another spread shot, it becomes level 2 and does extra stuff. You can burn your weapons, like you can lose that weapon, but it does a special attack or a special effect. Your character has a double jump and a dash. I wanted to like this, but it was just ridiculously difficult, like for no reason, like other than we want to make this ridiculously difficult. At least that's what it felt like.
That's its thing. They were like, we're gonna redo this. It's gonna be hard.
If you've played a lot of Contra games, it's kind of like the original Contra with the difficulty of Contra Hardcore on the Genesis, which is, if you've ever played that, is just outrageously difficult. So I'm going to wait and see. I hope that it has like difficulty levels when it comes out. We'll see. Do want to encourage you to check out our YouTube channel tomorrow to get a video first look at Penny's Big Breakaway, which is out now on Switch. It was a shadow drop during the direct. If you like Ristar or Knights or Sonic Adventure, like a lot of these Sega 3D-ish games, it definitely reminded me a lot of that with the aesthetic and the music and the designs. It's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of weirdness in this game that is just, you play as a character named Penny who is going to the Emperor's throne room to perform for him. And somehow along the way, her yo-yo becomes sentient and eats his clothes. So she commits a crime by doing this, and he sends his legion of penguin guards after her. It's just bizarre, but it's so much fun. It's definitely, you can tell it's made for time attack. So there's a lot of like really quick, like trying to rush through the stage type thing. But it's a lot of fun. And then Pocket Card Jockey Right On. We got a code for this as well. I did a video of it tonight. If you've played Pocket Card Jockey on 3DS, this is a remake of it with some streamlined rules and added things. It's also available on mobile. So if you're an Apple Arcade subscriber, you can get this for free. So there would be no reason for you to buy it on Switch. It's the exact same game, but I'm glad it's available on Switch. It looks great. Like the graphics have been upgraded. Just doing the playthrough, I was like, man, it just moves. It's smooth. It's a lot of fun. So if you're not familiar with Pocket Card Jockey, you are a horse racing. You want to be a horse racing champion. And the way that you do that is by playing solitaire, which sounds way more bizarre than it actually turns out. And it's a Game Freak game. So it's well made. It's when they used to make games well. So, it's there. So you can check that out. Also been playing, just real quick, AEW Fight Forever's got brand new DLC. It added a brand new character. They did a season 3 battle pass. They added a new arena where you can wrestle at the beach, and either day or night. So that's pretty cool. And the characters are actually really good. So I'm excited about that. And then I really, really have enjoyed digging back into Snake Rattle and Roll and RC Pro-Am, Battletoads, Killer Instinct, and Blast Corps on the NSO apps. That is some nostalgia, let me tell you. Reminds me of when Rare made great games that were also really ridiculously hard too. Because if you want an exercise in frustration, go play Snake Rattle and Roll and try to figure out the control scheme. Just trust me. Just movement. Figure out the movement on there. When you do that, you probably will be able to play whatever video game you want to play the rest of your life. Like movement in Snake Rattle and Roll is Elden Ring levels of hard. But it's still a fun game. So Go try it. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight to round out the show.
we've got a lot of people who stopped in today, so thank you to everybody who's been coming through, starting with Nymfrendo and Michael Burgett, Darth Platypus, Koopa Kid 80. Let's see, we got going through the list still, lots of repeats. Who else? Ebicel came in, our friend Moobot, stopped in a couple times.
Skinny
Moobot.
Matt.
No, and yeah, Skinny Matt.
And
You know Moobot, right? You know Moobot?
Yep.
It's our Moobot. Anyways, Mo Spankins.
Mo Spankins.
Woo Spankins.
That's right.
Beer was here. So as usual, everybody, our usual suspects and some people who came and stop by and say hi, like Skinny Matt. So thank you all for stopping by.
And Mecca, be sure to say Mecca. He's here too.
Is he? I didn't see him.
He said, I'm here too.
All right, he's here too. Mecca's here. Nice. He's just listening in the background. So thank you. And anybody who's lurking, thank you for hanging out and listening to us blabber. So thank you very much. All right, let's go over some of the questions we got from our community, starting with the email from Warren G. Akers. Yo, dads, Warren G. Akers here. If you had to choose, would you A, keep and have access to every video game ever released prior to today, but can never play any future games? Or B, get rid of all games released prior to today and only ever have access to games that will be released in the future? He chose A. And he wants to know which ones we would choose and why.
A. Because I start thinking about all the games that are gone if you do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mega Man, gone. Mario, gone. Zelda, gone. Metroid, gone. Would these franchises even exist?
That's a good question. Like,
right? Tetris, gone.
So maybe they just all start over again, we still end up playing them anyways in the future.
We're back to Pong.
Right.
Pong, gone. Centipede, gone.
Right.
Root beer tapper, gone.
I'm assuming that it's just like we can't play any of the old games, but the continuation of their franchises will go on from this point on.
I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's
yeah, I'm also agreeing with A. At least there's a pool of games I know I like, as opposed to I don't know what's coming. It could all be shovelware.
That's smart.
It could all be shovelware in the future, and if we're stuck with it.
It could all be horse armor.
Yes. Very much so.
Tim, what about you?
I'll be the outlier. I'll go with B because I'm always trying out all these games. We'll get to that question in a minute too, by the way. That's probably why I got a big backlog. But
well, see, you could be A. You could be A. Justin could be B.
Because he's not here.
He could be a game sample. Right?
Right. Yep.
We'll just be over here having a great time playing Mario Party.
Yes.
The three
of us can get together.
And Street Fighter. And Justin can be over there like he doesn't even get to play because he can't even know about these games.
He's in an alternate universe now. So that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, that's a good question, Warren G. Wow. Thanks for that.
That's a fantastic question. Hard to answer.
All right. Now to the Discord questions. The very first one, as I alluded to here, Zablock asks, Tim, read your backlog. Read us your backlog.
That's not a question.
That's not a question. That's a demand. So, but I'm not going to read it right now because that'd be too long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read it later when we close out the show. While Marty's closing out the show, I will be in the background reading off my backlog.
I challenged him to do it like the Pokemon rap, and he won't even try it.
I'm not talented enough to do that. I don't even know how. I don't even know how that goes in my head right now.
Play them, gotta play them all.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm not that talented. I would not be able to do that.
If you made a list of them, you could you could match them up. I have faith in you. You honestly are the most creative Nintendo dad.
I can't do things on the fly, so.
Well, that's okay. It's
All
all
right.
right.
Jamie asked to the dads, what is the longest time period in which you haven't bought a new game for yourself?
Ooh.
I haven't bought a new game for myself since July of last year. I bought Super Mario Bros. Wonder for my daughter for her birthday, so I'm not counting that.
Mm.
So
It's
I looked at my purchase history, and so I'm not counting like free codes I got. I'm not counting the free games from Cubic Games. I'm not counting like the some cheap games from Steam because I don't play PC games much anyway. So just looking at Switch, I pre-ordered a game on Tuesday that comes out next week. It's a Pixel Cross Story of Seasons Picross game. So that's my newest purchase. The purchase before that was 90 days, and I think that was the longest I've ever been between buying Switch games.
wow. I think for me the answer, and I'm not sure, but I want to say that part of the answer, or the way I'm going to answer it, is this: that there's a big gap in my gaming memory that centers around Game Boy Advance games. Like this Mario versus Donkey Kong, I never played it on Game Boy Advance. I didn't even know it existed. GameCube games are some of these, like Wario World, never played it. So it was around that time of Game Boy Advance, GameCube era games. There were several in that sphere that I missed. Advance Wars 2 was one of them, several others. And I think it was just that was around the time that I was newly married. So that would, we didn't have a lot of money. We were starting jobs and things like that. So that's probably when I would say it happened.
Yeah, for me, it was during probably low point in my life to where I was going through some stuff and I was going through bankruptcy. Not a lot of people know about this, but I was previously married and going through a divorce. So it was like I was trying to get back on my feet. So video games were not on the radar. This was between, I think the last system I had was a PlayStation 1, and any games I had on that was what I was playing while everybody else was on PlayStation 2. And all that kind of stuff. And I didn't have enough money to even think about anything Nintendo either. So I didn't get anything. I definitely wasn't in the N64 era. So no 64 games for me other than being able to play if I was at a friend's house. So, but me buying one myself between that and PlayStation, or even Game Boy, because I don't think I had a Game Boy at that time either. But yeah, it was probably a few years probably before I bought another game. So,
Wow.
so that would be a long period then.
Yeah.
I might be trying
Yeah.
to make up for it now. That's probably why I've got so many games in my backlog. So yeah, it's a great question again. There's definitely long periods of time, and it may be your choice, and it may not be your choice. So it's definitely everybody's going to have a different answer for that question.
Yeah.
All right,
Good one, though.
Yes, Mikey asks or says, someone on Twitter that I follow posted this right after the partner showcase. Nintendo Direct partner showcases are the least interesting to me because there's no way I'd choose to play anything that is multi-platform on Switch. I only care about exclusives and Nintendo first-party stuff. What are your thoughts on this sentiment, and how would you respond?
I want to play everything on the Switch.
Well,
If
it depends on what other systems he has. If he has a PlayStation and Xbox, then sure, fine. play the games you can play on the Xbox on your Xbox. I don't care. But if the Switch is the only thing you have, and you think this way, you're missing out on a lot of games.
Yeah, and like I think that the point of these existing is not just for like, oh look, we're going to compete with the other systems. It's for the people who don't have the other systems, right?
Right. That's why Xbox is releasing 4 games on other systems, because they want to reach people they can't reach now.
Yeah. I
If,
just think it's a little short-sighted, honestly.
if you have the luxury to choose, like, okay, I only want to play on the other systems if it's available on even the Switch because you have certain preferences, then so be it. Like Jesse said, just then go ahead, do your thing. Because everybody's got certain rules. Like there was a point where I could only have Nintendo games, and that frustrated me because it was like I could see there was games I wanted to play on the other systems that I knew Nintendo wasn't going to have, especially when it at the time came to more mature games, right? So even if it wasn't like Sony exclusive games, I knew I wasn't going to get on Nintendo. Even some of the third party games that weren't coming to Nintendo because they were a little bit more mature, those were the things I was frustrated with. So that's when I was like, okay, I can't be mad at Nintendo. Nintendo has its audience. At a certain point, I was thinking, I want Nintendo to grow with me, but Nintendo's not going to grow with me. I just outgrew Nintendo, but I can still enjoy some of the things that Nintendo provides. So I made a choice to say, okay, I'm going to have a PlayStation as my secondary system, but I want to mainly play things on Switch. Nowadays, even when it was Nintendo, it was like, okay, I want to mainly play things on Nintendo, and then I'll play other things that I can't play there on a PlayStation. Nowadays, it's more of, now I've included more because there's more coming to Switch where it's like, can I play it portably? Does it look good portably? That's where I'm most likely going to play it, and that's going to be on the Switch. Like, for example, Outer Worlds. I could have played that on the PlayStation, but I waited for it to come to the Switch so that I could play it there, or I missed out on it and then found out it was coming to the Switch, and then I was like, okay, I get to play it there. So, and I'm glad I did, even though they had a little bit of hiccup at the beginning. I had a lot of fun playing it on my Switch.
Yeah, I think like for me, a good example of that is AEW Fight Forever. I have it on both PS5 and Switch. I've played a ton more of it on my Switch than I have on my PS5. I bought it on PS5 to see what it was like because it looked better. It looked like it performed better. And with the season 3, the new content, it definitely does. I mean, it's pretty noticeable at this point, but I'm still going to play more of it on the Switch because I'm portable.
Portable.
I'm going to play it more. So
Portability.
it's with me and I can jump into a match or two really quick, and check it out there.
Yep.
But
Hogwarts is another example too.
Yeah. Hogwarts was a pretty competent port.
Yep.
For Switch. But I think there's some people who waited because they wanted to take it with them. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like ever since the GameCube era, I've always had a Nintendo console as my primary, and then I had a PlayStation 2 with it to play any games that came out that weren't on that system. So Xbox never really interested in me because most of the games there were either shooters or sports games. And, pass on them. So like the Xbox Series is the first Xbox I've ever owned, but I've had a PS2, 3, 4, 5. I've had every mainline Nintendo system since the start. So I've always had at least 2 consoles, starting with the GameCube era.
Yep.
And that'll likely continue.
Yes. That makes sense. Another great question. And thanks for that, for pulling that off the Twitters for us, Mikey. All right. And Darth Platypus asks, what is an SNES game that you'd like to see a remake, remaster of, or a brand new game in the series for?
Blackthorn.
Never heard of that one.
What's that one?
It's a game. It was an interplay game that was made for the SNES, where you are kind of this like motorcycle biker, grungy type guy who wakes up in a fantasy world full of orcs and goblins and stuff, and you take them out with your shotgun. So it kind of plays a little bit like Prince of Persia, a little bit like Out of This World, but it had, for the time, it was a really unique system where at certain points you would like there would be like a black part of the background, and you could like press and hold up and blend into it, like take cover. And so you could wait for enemies to go by and then shotgun them in the back, and so there's a little bit of puzzle solving. There was a little bit of, it's on the what is it? The Interplay collection. I think that's got Rock and Roll Racing and Lost Vikings.
Okay.
It's on there. And so you should definitely check it out. It's a fun game. And it was very critically acclaimed when it came out. So I would love to see another one.
Well, that's cool. There's still a place to play it too. Nice. Mine would be SimCity. And I know we got SimCities that have come to mobile and newer SimCities that have come. I want SimCity that was on the SNES to get the same Nintendo feel and everything like that, but updated with, a little bit. I don't want it messed with too much, because to me at the time it seemed perfect, but obviously some quality of life things may need to be added for sure, as we've learned over time. But a Nintendo published SimCity would be cool again.
I have an answer that might be controversial. This game, has a weapons upgrade system that some of the weapons in tight quarters are essentially useless. There's one of the YouTube channels I follow kind of goes through NES code and makes updates to the 6502 code itself to fix potential flaws in games or to try to improve them. And he did a video of this with that, and it would have made the game a lot more playable if the weapons worked the way you wanted them to. This game is Fester's Quest.
I hated that game.
Yeah. Well, everyone hated the game because the game made a lot of mistakes. But if you've got a remake fixing those mistakes, it could be a good game.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one. That's not controversial at all. What are you talking about?
I want to correct myself here. That was not Blackthorn was not by Interplay. It was the Blizzard collection.
Blizzard collection. Okay.
Blizzard collection. It's got Lost Vikings 1 and 2, Blackthorn, Rock and Roll Racing, various versions of that. So yeah, I that's the one that I want.
I am so glad you caught that, so we wouldn't get an actually on that. So.
Yeah, we probably would. Well, guys, that is our show, episode 466. Well, thank you for hanging out with us. And Tim is going to read his backlog behind us. But while he's doing that, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, and other 90-plus patrons. This is really hard to do while Tim, it sounds like he's chanting a spell behind me. Also, a huge thanks to our 15 Twitch subscribers, Twitch Prime subscribers, and over 1,400 Twitch followers, and nearly 7,400 YouTube subscribers. Anyway, what we're saying is thank you. Thank you to everybody. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. Keep tuning in and keep spreading the good word about Nintendo Dads. Head over to nintendodads.org for Spotify podcast feeds for our shows, our latest YouTube videos and tweets, all links to all of our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com. You can use the code NINDADS, that's NINDADS, to get 20% off your order and free shipping. And factormeals.com, you can get 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. That's NINDADS 50.
Bastion,
Contact us in most places by typing in Nintendo Dads. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Leave a voicemail by March 31st, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win the Impact of Iwata book signed by the author Lucas M. Thomas from Nintendo Force. If you're a first-time voicemail caller, let us know in your message, and you'll be entered twice. Big thanks to OC Remix Muse for the music used throughout the show. A reminder, wherever you listen to us, the audio version, wherever your podcatcher of choice is, leave us a 5-star review and some comments. Push us on up the charts, help people find Nintendo Dads, and maybe Tim will finish his backlog if you do that. Anyway, for me, for Jesse, for Tim, and for the missing Justin, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
And Rule, Cryptid Necromancer Dance, Necrodancer, Capcom Arcade Stadium, Castlevania Advance Collection, Anniversary Collection, Catherine Full Body, Cat Lord, Cloud Garden, Clubhouse Games. I guess that might not count. Cocoon. I beat that one. Coloring Book. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Coloring Book's in there. Gotta have that one in. Concept Destruction. I'm only in C's, guys, so you can end this whenever. Connection Haunted, Connection Rehaunted, Contra Anniversary Collection.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
We sound like the goddamn Nintendo.